Welcome to a special edition of Crawford County Outdoors. Today we are checking out the Boy Scout camp here. So Casey Meyer joining us. Give us a little hit. Well, let me ask you to introduce yourself and your connection here and your role and everything.
So my name is Casey Meyer. I'm the program director here at Custaloga Town. I've had many other roles here, but program director is essentially the person who runs all of the program here. I've been doing that for the past 5 years.
So can we talk a little history here? I remember when I was in Boy Scouts, which again was way back in the mid and early 70s.
Yes.
This was just opening, and I came here once or twice for a couple things. We did summer camp, at some other places because I think this was just getting off the ground then. Give us a little history. Tell us about the.
So Custaloga Town was formed in 1967 as a merger between three of the councils around us. French Creek Council, which is the council that actually runs Custaloga Town, wasn't formed until '74, I believe. But it was formed during those. It was formed from those three camps. So ever since then, it's our 55th anniversary, I believe.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
And I remember working on an award and worked on putting up some drywall, but we weren't allowed to talk. We weren't allowed to talk while we were working. That was actually kind of interesting. And that was a building that's I think way out by the road. I think where that was. But driving in here, I don't think I've been here for many years. And wow, there's a lot going on. Can you talk about all that's kind of built up here over the years?
There's a ton of history. The history of this camp goes back over 250 years easily. It is called Custaloga Town. One of the chiefs around here, his name was Custaloga. The encampment was down by French Creek, actually in our lower field. And he only stayed here for about 8 years. Suda, who was his relative, his nephew, actually took the head of the camp for the longest period of time. He was here for, we believe, 10, 12 years. That's why it's called Custaloga Town. And Suda, we believe, is buried on property. After that, the Heydrich family came in. They were originally from Germany. They moved to Philadelphia, and then they got a land grant here. They had a farm here. Our oldest building on property is Heydrich House, which is a beautiful brick house. It's over 200 years old. Amazing stone foundations on that building. Most of the buildings here have been built within the past 50 years, though. Basically every single program area, which would be our nature area, handicraft, sci-tech.
I was just going to ask you, can you kind of go over all the kind of stuff that the Boy Scouts get a chance to do here when they're coming over for camp?
We have quite a few program areas. It does depend if you are coming for Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts, what you do. But right in front of us is our nature area. We have a handicraft building. We have a sci-tech building, which we call STEM or STEAM. We have an aquatics area, which consists of the boathouse, which is down by Heydrich House, and then we have a pool. We have a shooting range, which consists of a rifle range, and then a archery area, a scoutcraft area, which is kind of outdoor skills based, a climbing tower featuring a zip line, rappelling walls, and then we have a few other areas around, but they're kind of secret.
I think one of the times when I came back when I was in Scouts, I think that was the first time I learned how to kayak was down here, and that was like an hour-long little talk, and that was a blast. I love going kayaking on French Creek now, and and all the lakes around and all that kind of stuff. So. Talk for a second about what's going to happen this summer. I mean, I bet you there's going to be a ton of Boy Scouts coming here. And do other things happen in addition to the Scout camps?
So during the summer, we only have Scouts BSA and Cub Scouts. We will have venturing crews and stuff come in, but that's kind of rare around this area, sadly. We have 10 weeks of program for at least our staff. We have 4 weeks of Scouts BSA, which is a program for 10 to 18-year-olds. And then we have 3 sessions, which are 4 days of Cub Scouts. Once again, they go around to every single area, depending on what they pick and choose, and we offer a fantastic program.
That's awesome. You mentioned before about the nature connection and where we are now. When we pulled in here to set up the camera to have our first talk, there was a deer standing, I think right here where you and I are standing. There was a deer here. So this isn't made up nature. I mean, this is the real deal, right?
Oh, very much so. There's bears around here. We get raccoons every single night in our staff area. We have tons of deer. The creek that you passed when you were coming into camp is actually called Deer Creek, very aptly named. We have an incredible amount of deer here, an incredible amount of wildlife. This beaver pond right behind us, there's a heron down there, as we discussed.
I see a heron. It's sitting on a branch down there.
There are quite a few beaver dams way back in the back. But if you walk around this entire camp,
so this is actually a great way to get some young folks around, to get them introduced to what nature's really like.
I'd
right?
hope as much, yeah.
I mean, reading about it in a book and everything is different than
Exactly.
actually getting your feet on the ground out there, right?
Yeah.
So, well, what do we say we take a look around?
Of course.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, let's do that.
All right.
So Casey, what's that building behind us? That is really cool.
It is a beautiful new shower house / bathroom center that we have. It's been a labor of love for the past 2.5 years.
Okay.
For many a person.
That looks like it's been here for a million years, but you can tell it's new because
Yes.
it's not kind of beat up at all, whatever.
Yes.
So here we got a pool behind us, we got a volleyball court right over here, and so this is an active area for the.
We call this area upper camp or upper field, but yes, our SciTech Center is right over there. This used to be our shower house. As you can see, it's, I don't want to say run down, but seen its days. So once again, labor of love for the past 2.5 years. We're proud to have it.
Now, what's the building over here to your left?
This is our mess hall, dining hall. We utilize it for campfires if we need to. Inside, we don't actually have campfires inside,
Okay.
but the campfire program, and obviously meal times.
So this is camp. So you got to
most definitely
you got to have.
Yes.
So even though it's camp, you still have inside meals for
We do.
for the scouts. Okay.
There are nights where they have meals in there for campsites, but yes, for the most part, it's all inside.
So now the pool here, is there kind of like training classes and things?
We do have training classes. We do offer lifeguard training every week for Scouts BSA. We have learn to swim classes, and we have swimming merit badge and life-saving merit badge as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this is a really cool spot here.
Yeah.
So we've come to the rifle range. So, sir, what's your name?
Bob Keitlinger.
Bob, well, thanks for showing us here. So what do you teach the kids here? How's it go? Give us like a basic lesson.
Well, a basic lesson, we teach them gun safety rules. We teach them the 3 main rules. Always keep your gun pointed in a safe direction. Always keep your finger off the trigger till you're ready to fire. And always keep the gun unloaded until you're ready to use. Plus we teach other safety things, but those are the main rules. Here at this range, we teach .22, and with the younger kids, they shoot BB guns.
Okay.
The other side, we shoot shotgun. We have a shotgun range. We also teach archery here at camp. Have all the equipment that they need for a good learning experience.
So Casey, if I'm a scout, can I get a merit badge for
Most definitely.
for the rifle range or the shotgun range?
We do have a rifle merit badge. We have a shotgun merit badge. We also have a archery merit badge as well.
Oh, that's awesome. All
We
right.
offer black powder shooting as well. That's not a merit badge though.
Okay. So can you give us a demonstration how this works?
Sure,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Thanks for the earplugs too here.
Everybody has to have ear protection
Save
on.
your ears here, you bet.
Unless you're firing, if you're standing back, you don't have to have the eye protection. So make sure everybody has their protection on. We tell them that the line is hot and that they can load and fire 1 round. We fire 1 round at a time. So you load it. Make sure the safety's off. you're done, have them lay the rifle down with the bolt up so that we can see that it is empty and unloaded. And usually they'll fire groups of 3 or 5 rounds. And shotgun, we're breaking clay pigeons. They'll shoot up to 25 rounds at a time. And archery, they shoot 5 arrows at a time usually.
So there's probably no better way to introduce a young person to the shooting sports than to have them. I mean, you're right there in their ear. You're telling them how to be safe, and it's
right. And
keep that muzzle down range all the that's
time.
It's like the safety issue. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and it's the same with the bow. You keep the bow pointed down range all the time. Rifle, the shotgun, everything. Teach them proper gun handling. If you teach the youth how to handle something properly, it will be a benefit in the long run. The trouble is, so many youth don't get this experience, and they don't know how to handle a gun or anything, or a firearm.
I'm with you on that one. It's like get out there and give it a try. I'm all about having the kids being get your feet wet, and then having a person talking to you. You know, again, the safety being the front thing. That's definitely the way to go.
And shooting sports is one of the top things at any scout camp. It's what the kids want to do the most, and it's fun and safe. We try to make it fun and safe for all the kids.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for showing us.
You're welcome.
Joining us now, Alexis Jazemski. So, Alexis, you're the water sports here person.
I'm the aquatics director here at Custaloga Town. Yes.
Awesome. So what all options do we have here for?
Here we have the lake, the pond here, hydric pond, and then we also have the pool. So we offer swimming and life saving at the pool, snorkeling, and BSA lifeguard. And then here at the lakefront, we do kayaking, stand-up paddle boarding, motor boating, canoeing. We've offered small boat sailing in the past. We don't do any, other than motor boating, we don't do any motors on the lake, but
okay,
pretty broad array.
So when you've got scouts and you got young, it's a good thing to sort of introduce them to water sports,
absolutely,
right? And
yeah.
So can you show us?
Absolutely. All right, I'll just...
Now that's a paddle board, right?
Yes, this is a stand-up paddle board.
Okay. So now you have a particular paddle that you have for a paddle board, different than a canoe paddle or a kayak paddle, right?
They're more similar to kayak paddles than canoe paddles. You've got the curve that helps you steer and all of that good stuff, but the kayak or canoeing paddles are flat.
So now you're paddling on one side. How do you not turn all the time? How do you do that?
It's all about that J stroke.
So you make it, okay. Can you show us? I remember learning this myself back in the day, and I think it was here, doing the J stroke. You kind of reach out a little bit, and then as you finish the stroke, you kind of push it out, so that keeps you from turning the opposite direction, right?
Straight on.
Well, Alexis, thanks for the lesson.
Absolutely.
So Casey, what's this behind us?
So behind us we have a grave site. This is supposedly where Guy Suda is buried. Not in this exact location, however, we're pretty darn sure that he is buried here on camp property. We also have the graves of Chief Squanto, who we know is buried here on property. Guy Suter, who was the son of Guy Suta, who once again we know is buried on camp property. And there's a grave marked back there called Boy. We believe he was a disabled child who sadly died in his youth.
Okay. Now, on the bottom of this memorial here, there's a picture that looks like George Washington. Is that George Washington?
It most definitely is George Washington.
What's that story?
So George Washington came through this area and we believe stayed on camp property for a night. Everybody has their George Washington story, of course. But this depicts when they met in, I believe, nearish Pittsburgh. If you go down to Pittsburgh on Mount Washington, which overlooks downtown, you will see this almost exact statue down there, and it's one of the only statues that we have that depicts a white man with a Native American, and they're having peace talks.
Wow, that's awesome. So, and that's actually a great thing to have here on this facility, so that people get the, a feel for the history.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So Casey, what's that behind us?
That's a big old climbing tower.
So you can climb the outside of that?
You most definitely can. Not on this side, but on the side to our left.
How does that work?
We have to put rocks, they're called.
So it's kind of like you grab in your foot, and then you have to, but you have a safety line and all that kind of stuff that goes along?
Most definitely, yeah.
So is that, does that like teach somebody, so for down the road, maybe I can go climb on an actual rock face someplace?
So when we teach the climbing merit badge here, a bulky portion of it is actually doing the knots and everything that you have to do with harnesses. It's usually the first day of classes. So there is a lot of safety procedures that we cover here. And once they are done, they know how to essentially harness and rappel themselves.
Wow. Now I saw on the sign there, it said zip line. Is that something that's there too?
There is a zip line. You can't really see it up here. It's on the opposite side, but 990 feet long, goes all the way down to Lower Field.
Wow.
Beautiful, goes right over Deer Creek.
Can we go take a look?
Most definitely.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's do that.
All right.
So Casey, that's the zip line, huh, right there.
This is the zip line, yes.
So I see a little platform here. So you get on the platform and hook up, and then now what's your
then you
safety?
get off the platform because you're too scared.
What's your safety component for that one?
We have a lot of safety components. So every single time someone goes down the zip line, they have to be checked. They have multiple carabiners, which sadly there's none sitting around, but they're the clips that you usually hook on with climbing gear. We have a lot of knots that make sure that everybody's held safely. And obviously the wire has to be tested every single year for tension. And
now it looks like you're going over a creek.
You are going over Deer Creek.
You're going to a field and whatever. That looks like a good long ways. How far is that?
It's 990 feet to the pole at the end.
Wow.
It's very, very difficult to make it to the pole at the end, however.
So that would be kind of going back uphill.
It's a gravity zip line. So you down where the staircase is down there is usually where people stop, but you go past that.
So you're talking 300 plus yards that you're going to go on. So how long does it take to go zipping down that thing?
About 45 seconds or so.
Wow.
And you can go.
How about that?
24 miles per hour is usually the average.
So I'm guessing that a lot of the scouts love stuff like this.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be a great thing to get them to come out and want to come back next time and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Casey, thanks for showing us all the stuff out here. This is awesome.
Thanks for coming.
I'm glad we were able to look around and see all the cool things for the scouts to do.
Thank you. Yes, appreciate it.
Here we go. Yeah!
And joining us now, Stephen Dunn. So Stephen, welcome to Crawford County Outdoors.
Thank you.
Tell us your role here at Custaloga Town.
So I'm the CEO for the French Creek Council. I manage all of the Boy Scouts activities for our northwestern Pennsylvania area, as well as Custaloga Town Scout Reservation.
So this is an awesome facility. There's a ton of stuff for the kids to do. You know, can you give us a broad view of the?
Yeah, no, this is a great camp for our scouts, and even for some of our non-scouts in the off season. We're more than welcome to have those other families come up and enjoy it. We got zip lining and climbing towers and rifle and shotgun and archery shooting and crafts and nature, and we even have a science tech building so they can work on STEM related activities. So now we have a great facility here.
I got a big kick out of your paddle boarding, you know, and the instructions, because I can remember when I was in Scouts, I think I only came here twice because this was a long time ago, because I'm not the youngest guy around here. But I think this is where I learned how to kayak, was here at this facility, and that would have been back in something like the mid 70s or the early 70s, something like that.
Yeah, no, we have some, back in the day, you know, we could only do the rowboats and canoeing and that stuff, but now we have stand-up paddle boarding, we have kayaks, we have all sorts of great aquatics activities that either our adults and our youth can do. So
yeah. Let me get an opinion from you. So if your kid's growing up and all they ever do is, you know, click away on, well, what would you tell them? You know, I mean, to me, I would drag them out here and just, you know, and they would just love this. But you know, what's the sales pitch?
You know, I think a lot of our families now, especially as we're coming out of COVID, they, you know, everyone was inside and all they're doing is playing video games. And I think a lot of our parents now and our families really want our kids doing outdoor activities. And there's no greater place to do outdoor activities than here at Custaloga. You know, we have everything that there is to offer. We're always looking at adding new activities in. And so here in the next couple of years, we'll be even adding some new program activities. We're looking at maybe doing ATVs and some other exciting things.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome. Well, so our show is called Crawford County Outdoors, and it's like, and my thing that I always end up saying at the start or at the beginning or at the end of the show is, hey, get outdoors, get your kid outdoors, get to do this. So I mean, what is there a better place in the world than this?
Oh no, there's definitely not. I mean, come on out. Give us a call at our council office or visit. We're gonna have a new website we're debuting, so go ahead and visit us on the website, and we'll get you guys signed up and open up our camp facility.
Well, thanks for showing us around this awesome facility today. This was wonderful. And thank you all for joining us today on Crawford County Outdoors, and we will talk to you next time.